What if I told you that some of the problems you're facing in your relationship today didn't actually start with your partner, but started years ago when you were just a child, watching, learning, feeling things you didn't even understand at the time. And now, without realizing it, those same patterns are quietly controlling how you love, how you argue, how you trust, and even how you walk away. Many adults think their relationship struggles are just bad luck or wrong partner. But the truth is, our childhood experiences shape the emotional blueprint we carry into every relationship. And until we become aware of them, we keep repeating the same painful cycles. The first childhood experience that deeply affects adult relationships is growing up in a home where love was inconsistent, where sometimes you felt deeply cared for and other times completely ignored. And as a child, this creates confusion about what love really means. So as an adult, you may find yourself attracted to people who are emotionally unavailable or unpredictable, because that inconsistency feels familiar. For example, someone who had a parent that showed affection one day and withdrew the next might end up chasing a partner who gives mixed signals, mistaking anxiety for love, always trying to earn attention instead of receiving it freely. The second experience is constant criticism or growing up in an environment where nothing you did was ever good enough. Maybe you were always compared to others or corrected harshly, and this builds a deep sense of inadequacy. So in adult relationships, you may become overly sensitive to feedback, defensive during simple conversations, or constantly seeking validation. For instance, a person who was criticized as a child might feel deeply hurt if their partner gives a small suggestion, interpreting it as rejection rather than support, which can lead to unnecessary arguments and emotional distance. The third experience is emotional neglect, which doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's simply growing up in a home where your feelings were ignored, dismissed, or never talked about, and as a result, you may struggle to express emotions as an adult, or even understand what you're feeling. You might shut down during conflicts or avoid deep conversations altogether. For example, when your partner asks, "What's wrong?" you genuinely don't know how to answer. Not because nothing is wrong, but because you were never taught how to connect with your emotions, and this can make your partner feel shut out or unimportant. The fourth experience is witnessing unhealthy relationships, especially between parents or caregivers. Because as children, we learn about love by observation. So if you grew up seeing constant fighting, disrespect, silence, or even manipulation, that becomes your normal. And in adulthood, you may unconsciously repeat those patterns. Maybe you raise your voice during disagreements because that's what you saw growing up, or you tolerate disrespect because you believe that's just how relationships are. For example, someone who watched their parents constantly argue might either become aggressive in communication or completely avoid conflict, both of which can damage a healthy relationship. The fifth experience is abandonment or loss. Whether it was a parent leaving, divorce, death, or even emotional withdrawal, this creates a deep fear of being left behind. And as an adult, this fear can show up as clinginess, jealousy, or overdependence. You may constantly need reassurance or feel anxious when your partner needs space. For instance, if your partner takes longer than usual to reply to a message, your mind might immediately jump to worst-case scenarios, not because of the present situation, but because of unresolved fears from the past. And this can put pressure on the relationship and push people away unintentionally. The sixth experience is growing up in a household where you had to be the strong one. Maybe you had to take care of siblings, manage responsibilities beyond your age, or suppress your own needs to keep peace in the family. And while this builds strength, it can also make it difficult to be vulnerable in adult relationships. You might struggle to ask for help, open up emotionally, or rely on your partner because you've been conditioned to handle everything alone. For example, even when you're overwhelmed, you might say, "I'm fine," and carry the burden silently, which can create emotional distance and prevent true intimacy. The truth is, these childhood experiences are not your fault, but they do become your responsibility to understand and heal, because awareness is the first step to change. When you begin to recognize your patterns, you stop reacting unconsciously and start responding intentionally. You begin to choose healthier behaviors, communicate better, and build relationships based on understanding rather than fear. Imagine being able to love without anxiety, to trust without overthinking, to communicate without shutting down. That kind of relationship is possible, but it starts with looking inward and asking yourself, what did I learn about love growing up? And is it serving me today or hurting me? Because the moment you become aware of your past, you take back control of your future, and you give yourself the chance to experience the kind of love you truly deserve.